When you start waking up, not in the morning, but inside, everything changes. You begin to see that most of what people call life is a performance, a race for approval, a collection of borrowed beliefs and false identities. You feel it deep down. You're not who you were told you are. You start noticing energies, emotions, patterns, things most people never sense. And at first, it feels powerful, like you've unlocked a secret code to the universe. But soon, it becomes heavy because you realize most people aren't ready for this. They don't want to wake up. And if you share the wrong truths with the wrong minds, you'll be misunderstood, mocked, or even feared. That's why the ancient mystics always warned, protect your light until it's strong enough to stand alone. So, if you're spiritually awake, never reveal these 5 things to anyone, unless they've earned the silence behind your words. 1. Your deepest realizations. When you first awaken, you want to tell everyone. You want to explain how everything is connected, how time feels like an illusion, how the world isn't as solid as it seems. But here's the truth. Most people don't want to understand. They want to belong. If you speak from your realization before it's rooted in humility, you'll sound insane to the sleeping. They'll laugh, reject, or label you, not because they're bad, but because your truth threatens their comfort. The wise learn this early. You don't announce enlightenment. You live it quietly. Because real awakening doesn't need an audience. It only needs presence. 2. The depth of your sensitivity. When your awareness expands, so does your sensitivity. You start to feel energy in people's words, tension behind smiles, and pain hidden beneath laughter. It's both a gift and a burden, but never reveal how much you sense. If you tell people you can feel their emotions or read their energy, they'll grow defensive. They'll mistake your empathy for judgment. True sensitivity is silent. It's not something you speak, it's something you carry. Because awareness doesn't mean exposing others. It means understanding them without needing to explain why. 3. Your visions and intuitive insights. As you awaken, intuition sharpens. You get flashes of knowing, a sense of what's coming, who's sincere, and what paths are aligned with your soul. But here's the danger. If you reveal these visions too soon, you'll either be doubted or worshipped. Both are traps. Doubt drains your energy. Worship feeds your ego. Neither lead to truth. So keep your visions sacred. Write them down. Meditate on them. Let them guide your path quietly until the lesson behind them becomes clear in your actions, not your words. Because wisdom that's shown too early gets lost in noise. But wisdom lived becomes light. 4. Your past life and shadow work. One of the hardest parts of awakening is facing your shadow, the anger, fear, guilt, or trauma you've buried for years. Sometimes you even sense memories that don't belong to this lifetime, echoes of pain and lessons from before. But here's the secret. Not everyone deserves to hear your darkness, not because it's shameful, but because it's sacred. When you reveal your shadow to those who aren't ready, they'll interpret it through their fear, not your truth. They'll project, gossip, or pity you instead of understanding. So heal in silence. Share only with those who can hold space without judgment. Your past is not a confession, it's initiation. Every healed wound becomes a doorway to power, but only if you protect it while it's still healing. 5. Your inner peace. This one sounds strange, but it's true. Never flaunt your peace. When you stop reacting, stop competing, stop chasing, you start radiating something that unsettles others. Because peace is power, and power without control makes the unconscious nervous. If you tell people, I don't get angry anymore, or I see everything as energy, they'll try to test you, to pull you back into chaos. So guard your calm, move quietly, let your peace speak through your eyes, not your voice. Because real peace doesn't need to prove itself, it simply transforms the space around it. Final thoughts. Spiritual awakening isn't about showing others how much you've grown. It's about growing so deeply that you no longer need to show anything. Some truths are not meant to be shared. They're meant to be embodied. Because when you reveal sacred things to those who cannot hold them, you drain their power. But when you protect them, they grow stronger inside you until your very presence becomes the message. So if you are spiritually awake, walk gently, speak less, see more. Let your silence become your teacher. And remember, the ones who truly see no longer need to be seen.